Kristi Noem, you should be ashamed of your doggone self. $200 million on an ad is silly. I don't know how y'all feel, but I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. You spent $200 million. When this came out, I thought they said $200,000. I was like, oh, they kind of going a little far with $200,000 on an ad. That's a lot of money, but that's not that crazy, is it? $200 million. Let me say that again for people in the back. Kristi Noem spent $200 million taxpayer dollars on a mother freaking ad where she's the only subject of the ad. And wait till you find out who got the ad revenue or who got the ad spend. Kristi Noem, I have no respect for Kristi Noem ever again. These people are evil. These people are shiesty, scam artists. There is no justification whatsoever for somebody to spend $200 million on an ad. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. You are shady. You're shiesty. You are the problem in America. You sorry, no good folk out here blowing people money and doing some pay-to-play stuff. Ain't no way this make no sense. Kristi Noem is just like the rest of them. She shady. She's spending money that ain't hers, doing stuff she shouldn't be doing. Come on, roll the ad so I can see what she spent $200 million on.
Why do I love these wide open spaces? They remind me of why our forefathers came here. Not just for its beauty, but for the freedom only America provides. I'm Kristi Noem. From the cowboys who tamed the West, to the titans who built our cities, to the dreamers who chased the impossible, America has always rewarded vision and grit. Our greatness calls people to us for a chance to prosper, to live how they choose, to become part of something special. Anyone who searches for freedom can always find a home here, but that freedom's a precious thing, and we defend it vigorously. You cross the border illegally, we'll find you. Break our laws, we'll punish you. Harm American citizens, there will be consequences. But if you come here the right way, your American dream can be as big as these endless skies. From President Trump and me, welcome home.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security. $200 million on that, bro? That's a good commercial. I ain't gonna lie, that's a good commercial. But $200 million? $200 million? People are starving. People are struggling, and you want $200 million on an ad? Who are you convincing? Them Democrats don't care that you made that. Me? I already know that. You could have just sent that to influencers. We'd have put it on our Instagram. Free. Before we get there, I want to tell you guys about Verdict. If you're looking for the best whiskey I've ever had, I'm telling y'all, go look at the reviews. Me and Jim hit the jackpot. I ain't gonna even lie. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. Everywhere we go to do tastings, immediately the restaurants say, we want it, no brainer. We're in a resort. I'm gonna wait till we on the menu to let you know what resort that is. I may have already said it. I did. Y'all missed it. We in the Belmont here in North Scottsdale, and we also in the Inns. So if you go to the Belmont, the Inns in North Scottsdale, ask them for Verdict. I don't know if your verdict is guilty or not. You can pick, but ask them for the verdict. Anyway, verdictbourbon.com. Let's get to the part that matters the most to me. But listen to what this dude is saying, and there's nothing but truth to this. We researched it. Me and the wife was headed to Ambiente in Sedona. Shout out to Ambiente. They carry bourbon. They carry Verdict there. And it's the best place to go. If you got to have a little money in your pocket, though, but it's the best resort that I've ever been to. Anyway, we're on the way to Ambiente, and my wife was like, do you see what Kristi Noem did? Listen to what this man said. Roll it.
Madam Secretary, I'll read from the notice from your agency. Given the immediate action to significantly reduce illegal immigration and border crossings, DHS identified 4 companies. 4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States. You identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it.
You don't?
We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll tell you about it.
According to
Madam
law,
Secretary,
it was done by
the address is
officials.
registered to a political
It was
operative.
dollars that were spent
Madam Secretary, the company, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out.
Time out. Now, I don't want to hear none of y'all. I don't know, somebody in the comment section probably saying, no, but Kristi Noem, what? Listen, y'all. I do this for profit stuff. I have an ad team. I know what this is. You do not give $140 million to a company that was established 7 days, 8 days before a contract. $140 million? That company has to be established. That company has to have history. That company has to win a bid. If you're giving that much money to a new company, something strange for a little change is happening. Let them finish, and then I'm gonna play the Republicans, because she didn't just, it wasn't just a Democrat. Roll it.
You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
Yes,
that $143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered, apparently, or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South Dakota. The reason why I ask these questions is that this is taxpayer money. And I presume, I don't know this for a fact, but Senator Tillis noted yesterday the way in which your agency is blocking the Inspector General from 11 different investigations that it is trying to conduct. I don't know if this happens to be one of them. I certainly hope it is, because eventually the facts will become public in this regard.
Let me tell you what I think she did. You see, he had made mention that there was a company that was associated to her while she was in office. They created a shell company. Like, these people are so, I'm not letting them get away with this. They do a shell company that gets the money, and then they sprinkle it to places where they benefiting from it. But that's why they got the shell company, because it's a block. Because you only know that this company, unless you look into it, you only know that this company took the money. But this company took the money to pass it to this company, so you don't know. That's why it was a company established 7 days before the bid, because she knew that the bid was coming. She must have let somebody know. They started a company. Then they gave it $140 million, and then they passed it down to other companies that she must be benefiting from. I'm telling you, y'all, Republicans are doing this and Democrats are doing this. This is wrong. You are wrong, and we have no place for this foolery. Donald Trump, if you hear me, I love you, bruh, but this ain't it. She needs to be held accountable for this. There is no excuse. I know how money works. There is no excuse. If I were to do something like that, it's because I'm shady. There's no way I'll play with the people money like that. That company is not established. You can't do nothing like that. It looks bad. And then it's somehow filtered to a company that was connected to you. Go to jail. I hope she go to jail over this. I hope you go to jail, Kristi Noem, if you committed a crime. And Donald Trump don't need to shift you somewhere. He need to put you in jail. Hate this stuff. I hate when people do this. But even our side, Kennedy had a couple questions for us as well. Roll it. Clip 202.
The president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million
$220 million
running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
Yes, sir. We went through the legal processes, did it correctly,
Did the president
worked
know
with
you were going to do
OMB.
this?
Yes.
He did?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
And one thing, Senator, I think would be helpful to know is how effective that communications has been. That overwhelming.
Time out. How do you listen? I was on the radio. How you know what the ROI is? How do you it's no clickable buttons. How do you know what the real ROI is with the advertisement? I don't see anywhere where they say go to this website. Did you? I don't see any call to action. Where are you measuring that this effective $220 million on an ad where you the only person narrating? Come on, let her finish.
Effective in your name recognition. I mean, I personally just, I mean, to me, it puts the president in a terribly awkward spot. And I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. It's just hard for me to believe knowing.
All right, next one. He had more questions. Roll it.
You said, Mr. President, here's some ads I've cut, and I'm going to spend $220 million running them, that he would have agreed to that. I don't think Russ Vogt at OMB would have agreed to that. It's something we have to defend. I'm on the Appropriations Committee. My research shows that you did not bid them out, that you in fact, one of the people you picked, the strategy group, Safe America Media was a company formed 11 days before you picked them, and that strategy group got most of the money, and the head of that is married to your former spokesperson. Look, we all have friends who are qualified. I'm not quibbling with that. It troubles me. A fifth to a quarter of $1 billion of taxpayer money when we're scratching for every penny and we're fighting over rescission packages. I just can't agree with Madam Secretary.
Here's another clip.
Ads out across America, $250 million, in which she was prominently displayed. They looked a great deal like political ads. And I found that breathtaking. And when I see what I perceive to be spending porn, I don't care who does it. I'm going to call it out. I'm pretty cheap when it comes to taxpayer money. I squeak when I walk. And that's what happened. It also came out, though the Secretary denied it, that these were no-bid contracts, and then apparently some of them did not go to people whose names she got off ZipRecruiter. They went to political friends. And we talked about that. And I was stunned when she answered categorically that the president approved every single bit of it. Later that day, I got a call from President Trump. He was mad as a mama wasp. He said, "Kennedy, I hope you understand that I had nothing to do with this." And I said, "Well, I do believe you, Mr. President." He was not happy. It was clear to me after that conversation that the secretary's time at the department was limited. That to be blunt, she was dead as fried chicken. And we talked about a few names that he might consider, and then what happened happened. It's not personal, but President Trump was very irritated that the secretary had seemed to blame this on him.
I'm gonna get to Jesse Jackson's funeral in 1 second. I'm so perturbed by this. Did she lie? I don't like Donald Trump doing this because, and I love Trump, man, but like this ain't a good look. Why would you cover for her? You should have said she a dirty dog, and you would take her out back and slap her and throw her off the edge of a cliff, but instead you just fired her. I fired her. Like I will never be that man. I'm not covering for you. I don't care if you're my best friend. You do something like that, I'm firing you, and I'm gonna expose you. You did that. My note would be, I fired her, and she better never talk to me again, or there's gonna be some furniture moving. She did that. We're investigating, and I'm gonna take her to jail if she's found guilty. It makes me so mad. These people, you know why it makes me so mad? That we're gonna get to Jesse Jackson, I promise. because I work hard and I'm busting my butt every single day to create a media organization and do all that I do, and I'm doing it the right way. I don't screw people. I treat people fairly, all of the above. And it takes a while for you to generate wealth when you're doing it the right way. The people that are doing side hustles and side dealing and cheating people out of their money, and you giving your friend a benefit on taxpayer dollar to the tune of $200 million, I'm pissed. And I think that everybody in America should feel the same way. Ain't no way you gonna do us like that. The money and then the shame part. We're Republicans. We're supposed to be doing stuff the right way. They already was trashing Trump because he put these people in positions of power. And what do they do to thank him? They screw you. And you know why? This is not an accident. These people are con artists. Just like that other guy that looked like he drunk every day with his flushed face. What's his name? He looked drunk every time he talked. Steve Bannon. Build a wall. We're going to build a wall, everybody. Donate your money. I could not live with myself raising millions of dollars from you. And I know it's going to a porn star, which his co-founder wife is a whore. And I'm just going to call it like it is. His co-founder's wife is on OnlyFans. We exposed that when we were on the radio. She on OnlyFans with a booty and a stuff out, and they taking your money and paying for breast implants and everything. And I don't know what Steve Bannon was doing. I don't work with people like that. If I catch you doing that, I'm going to expose you, I'm going to fire you, or whatever the case may be. We ain't cool, we ain't buddies. You're not finna screw the American people over like that. It's been on my chest for a month now. I mean, not a month, but it feel like it's been on for a month. Republicans, we got to call these fools out. Even if Donald Trump out here cutting up. Donald Trump, I swear to God, if you cutting up and you doing dirty deals, I'm going to call you out on it. I believe you're doing the right thing. Quit covering for these people. She making you look bad.